to Godai Wellness podcast. Today we have an incredible guest with us. Her name is Neha S. Kumar. She is a coach and a consultant who is dedicated to empowering women to trust themselves, take up space, and grow both professionally and personally. So, Neha, welcome aboard, and we would love to get an insight about you as well.
Thank you so much, Manasvi. So, a little bit about me. I'm Neha. I'm trauma-informed coach right now, and I have 10 plus years of experience working. I started as a nutritionist, but went into the startup space and kind of explored in the 10 years. My last role was as a VP in a women's health tech organization, and I was managing a team of around 80 plus women. So, post that or during that is when I kind of really felt um, more attracted towards working with women and more purposeful towards it. So, for the last 1 year, I have been looking into how can I bring more attention to mental health, especially with women, and that's the space I am currently fully invested in.
Okay. So Neha, as rightly been mentioned by you, I since I went through your profile also, so I could very clearly see you are doing like an amazing job helping women, right, and empowering them. When particularly we talk about mental health, so we decided that today we'll probably have a mental wellness as foundation for empowered women for the topic for you, right? So I would really like to know, like as you mentioned, you were a nutritionist to begin
Yes.
with, and then you switched your career. So what made you take that switch?
Um, One, I am a nutritionist with an eating disorder, so it does not really work that well for me because my perspectives are a little different in the sense. If someone says I am overweight, I am a nutritionist, those kind of comments come across a lot. And that's okay, like it's a very valid point, but I have my own struggles in that area. So,
But
one, I
that's very
don't.
harsh. I mean, I don't think so. That's valid. That's a very harsh statement to make to anybody.
Yeah, but it is quite common in our field actually. I have worked in hospitals and people would say to your face. So, like, I kind of started feeling not that much, connected to it with respect to counseling other people. So, then I got into startups where I got to build teams who were counseling other people, and I learned a lot more about new things. I think if nutrition is like a specific space, then I kind of took up operations. I was working in sales, and I did social marketing and content and everything. And then just like the brain opened up to more things. So I think then I kind of grew out of it more than anything. It is not that I don't like it per se, but I kind of grew out of it. So I wanted to do something that more connected to who I am right now. And another thing is my own mental health struggles has defined my life for the last 10 years. So it just came very naturally to walk in that direction. It was very low effort to do that.
Okay, okay. I understand because I was about to come to that point only that since you have been, on the subject of mental health scrutiny, and a lot of people had made certain comments to you which were obviously not nice, that also must have shaped the way for you to, get into this space. But okay, okay, that's like very very interesting to know. The transition is amazing, and I think you're doing great for yourself. Uh, I just want to understand, Neha, because since you mentioned that somehow mental health is what shaped your career, right? It kind of paved the path for what you are doing right now. I just want to understand uh, why is mental health such a critical aspect for women, and how is it even more damaging for women than men? Is it like the same for both the genders, or are women like at greater risk to this particular judgment and mental health biases that people levy on us?
I think the main reason I chose to work with women was simply because I related better and I was able to connect to the demographic better. Said that, I also feel like there is a lot of internalized messaging in women, for one. Like, from our birth, I have very less seen women in India who have been told that you are enough, go be anyone who you want to be. That's not the conditioning that you're
Hmm.
brought up in. You're always told like you are someone else's property, you're just
Hmm.
here for some time. So like, I think that stays with us for a very long time. And there is also like, I have not seen one woman who doesn't have a trauma related story. It can be as simple as sexual assault. It's not simple, but it's something so common that it is simplified a bit right now. So like, everyone has a story to share, and I think that, always looking out for danger, always looking out for protecting ourselves also has made us very hyper vigilant, which is really difficult for our, mental health as well. Women react a bit more intensely to interpersonal relationship issues compared to that of men, and that shows up in a workplace a lot as well, because
Hmm.
workplaces are made of relationships, right? So that is another thing. And also, this reminds me, I think I heard Meryl Streep say it in a video, if I'm right. It was, a man's job is over at sundown, but a woman's job is never over. And I think that really kind of stuck with me as well, because that's true. I have seen my own mother working day and night, not getting any,
Hmm.
validation for it. I have
Hmm.
seen literally every family member, friends, parents doing the same thing, especially the mothers. So I think
Hmm.
that is another thing that is very common with women compared to that of men, that our work never ends and
Hmm.
there is no appreciation for it. And I think all this kind of stays with us. So
Hmm.
like, our life has been about others than about us, and that
Hmm.
takes a toll on our mental health on a longer
I think
perspective.
I really second that statement that you just made. You know, the little quote that Meryl Streep she stated. I think that's very true because today only I was having a conversation with my mother, and we were discussing that how. So we were discussing three different women. Simultaneously, we were talking about one who's married and who is just tending to her family, and the other one is in a job and she's somehow trying to find a balance or strike a balance between her professional and personal life, and the third one is somebody who's very similar to me, who's not ready to get married because she does not feel that she's ready to take both the responsibilities together. And we were having this very impromptu chit chat about how I think the happiest of all these three would be the one who's just tending to the family and somehow being there for them, because she doesn't have to fight battle on both the ends. She has chosen her battle. She has chosen to stay at home and she has been working throughout, but she doesn't have to go out and do the extra hustle, to get food on the table for the family. And I think that's so true. uh, I think when we talk about फेमिनिज्म और वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारा स्ट्रगल, एज यू सेड, ख़त्म नहीं हो रहा, वो सिर्फ बढ़ रहा है। तो बाहर का स्ट्रगल है, फिर घर पर आके वापस एक स्ट्रगल है। तो आई कम्प्लीटली एग्री विद यू ऑन दैट। ये एंड इट डज टेक अ टोल ऑन द मेंटल हेल्थ। आई थिंक हमारी पेरेंट्स की जनरेशन, एज यू मेंशन, मेरी मॉम के साथ मैंने सेम चीज़ देखी जैसे आपने अपनी मॉम के साथ मेंशन करा, कि मैनेज करना मुश्किल होता था, एंड इट टुक अ टोल ऑन देयर वर्क, इट टुक अ टोल ऑन देयर हेल्थ, एंड आज भी दे आर ट्राइंग टू जस्ट कम आउट ऑफ
Yeah.
दैट trauma, and I get it. I think this brings me to the next question, Neha. I really would want to know that we focus a lot on helping women build self trust, self reliance. Okay. Can you tell us how exactly do you do that, and how does it connect with mental wellness?
Um, all right. Self trust. So, if you look at the crux of mental illness in any way, one very common thing that will stand out to you is a feeling of powerlessness, like a lack of control of our emotions, ourselves, etc. Right? So, I think that lack of agency, advocacy, like not being able to stand up for ourselves is one of the main reason we kind of get into the snowball effect of mental health issues as well. So like self trust becomes, to put it very simply, it kind of shifts our relationship from, how do I put it? Like, I don't know what's best for me to I am the person who knows what is best for me the most. It is not about being right or wrong. It is about
Hmm.
knowing, okay, this is right for me. And we are
Hmm.
100% qualified to do it, but we
Hmm.
lack that kind of ability to be able to do that. So, that is what self trust is for me, that they are able to take their decisions themselves, and they're able to know that they have control over their choices. Like, I know so many examples of women who would get married because of pressure,
Hmm.
right? Again, it is easily said that done, I understand that, but I'm 31 right now, and I'm getting married only in the next this thing, and it's completely my wish that is happening. So
It's
I
your
think,
choice.
like, as far as we are able to stand our ground, we'll be able to handle things a lot better, and for me, self trust is that.
Okay, okay. Because I completely agree. I think there's a social conditioning that works behind this whole rationale of self trust, right? Like, as you rightly mentioned, a lot of times the decision might not be right or wrong for you, but you are just taught that you cannot take a decision for yourself.
Correct.
Because because as we already talked about, you are somebody's property. You are either somebody's daughter, or then you'll be somebody's wife, and then you'll be somebody's mother. So there's like no this, like, you do not have your own, you do not have authority over own yourself, right? You
Correct.
do not have the freedom to take your own decisions. And I think it's great that you're telling people, specifically women, to gain that confidence and come out of that shell and somehow break that social conditioning which has been tying them so far. Okay, but like we as we were talking about self trust, I just want to know, like, do you can you recollect or recall any story where you have seen a woman transforming her career or her life by prioritizing on self trust, and in return prioritizing on on her mental health?
Um, to be very honest, I don't have like a magic transformation to tell you, but I see a lot of real ones in my day-to-day practice. A lot. One such things that comes to my mind is someone who it comes from a little bit of a broken home situation. Don't want to go into the details because of
That's
confidentiality and
justified.
stuff, right? Like, so, she came to me with a lot of self-doubt and a lot of you know I deserve whatever is happening to me kind of a thing. Like, she was getting comfortable with the idea that she deserved the bad things that is happening to her. And it took us 6 months to get to a certain point, which I was waiting for from day one, which was that she told me, ki, hey, people around me are noticing that I'm, a lot more stable right now. I'm making my own decisions. They are telling me that I'm unapologetic right now. Like, though I saw these things happening and I pointed it out as well, it doesn't land as good as someone, who you have grown up with telling you about it. And I think that moment really stood with me, because what better way of growth than someone else noticing it in you as
Absolutely.
well, right?
Now, if you have to give like some piece of advice for our listeners, for our viewers, uh, if they have to make some small habits or mindset shifts,
Hmm.
then what would you recommend to them to feel empowered, specifically the women?
That's a great question, because there is a lot of low hanging, things that we can do. One is, I would say that women have to remember that they cannot pour from an empty cup. Meaning that if in the world the most person that they have to prioritize is themselves, so that is not done by, like, if I work with 10 women, nine of them don't do it, or 10 of them don't do it. So that's how it is. So, like, to be able to prioritize yourself, I think that is a mindset shift. A practice would be, in the same cascade of things, is to keep something exclusively selfishly yours to do in a day. It can be just 15 minutes, just 20 minutes. It does not have to be productive. You don't have to add value to it, meaning to it, but just something that is yours. This reminds me of Big Bang Theory. There is a scene of Sheldon just doing this ball bouncing thing, saying "Ki that helps me open my mind." It has no value to it. It is just bouncing a ball for 20 minutes a day. And if that helps you, that's good enough. Right? So that is a practice that I would recommend everyone to do, something that is selfishly yours for 15 to 20 minutes. Um, yeah, and one last thing is, uh, I would want women to talk to themselves that way they talk to their most loved ones. Like, if I have a daughter, how would I talk to my daughter? That is the same way I would want to talk to myself. Right? Like, I think that is a really interesting perspective, to be more kind to ourselves.
So that's a very useful piece of advice. I would also would want to know from you, Neha. So a lot of women, specifically in today's time, they are somehow trying to juggle between professional personal life, as we already discussed, right? Uh, अब जब वो जगल हो रहा होगा तो आई एम श्योर बहुत सारा स्ट्रेस भी आ रहा होगा, बहुत सारा एक एनजाइटी भी डिराइव हो रही होगी, और वो बाउंड्रीज जो मेंटल बाउंड्रीज होती हैं वो भी बहुत बार ब्रीच हो रही होंगी, राइट? सो what would you recommend? How can they do that? How can they somehow try to balance work life and professional life and not feel guilty
Hmm.
about about it?
Again, it's a very difficult question, in the sense ki, one thing, a mistake, or I would say something that women are used to, is we kind of romanticize suffering a bit, in the sense ki, I will do everything on my own. You
I
don't
agree.
have to. Or
Hmm.
my partner won't do it as good as me. He doesn't
Hmm.
have to, or she doesn't have to. Right?
Hmm.
So, one, letting go of that need to do everything on your own, and also asking people for help, because the other person is also a human. They are not a trained human, like they're not
Hmm.
a trained psychologist or something to understand what you need and give it to you. If you tell them, they'll be able to help you. I have seen human beings are capable of helping a lot when you know what you want from them. So being able to ask ki, hey, Manasi, I'm not able to do this, can you help me with this? I think you will
Hmm.
definitely help me a lot better than me sulking in my mind saying ki sab mujhe hi karna pad raha hai,
Hmm.
everything is my responsibility. So I think that is one thing, to be able to talk loudly ki, hey, I can do only this much, you do this. Like,
So
ask
basically,
for
open communication.
yes.
ओके, ओके। आई थिंक बहुत बहुत सही चीज़ है, बिकॉज़ आप जब तक किसी को बताओगी नहीं व्हाट यू वांट, तब तक उस इंसान को पता नहीं चलेगा व्हाट यू वांट, और तब तक वो डिलीवर ही नहीं कर पाएगा या कर
Exactly.
पाएगी। आई थिंक दैट इज़ व्हाट पीपल टेल यू एवरी टाइम व्हेनेवर यू आस्क देम कि व्हाट्स द सीक्रेट बिहाइंड अ लविंग एंड अ हेल्दी रिलेशनशिप, दैट हैव एन ओपन कम्युनिकेशन। That's a very practical advice. Okay, so नाउ आई ट्राई टू जंप, बिकॉज ये गुदाई का पॉडकास्ट है तो हमें थोड़ा टूल्स, थोड़ा वेलनेस प्लेटफॉर्म्स के बारे में भी थोड़ा डिस्कस करना चाहिए, बिकॉज आई रियली वांट योर ओपिनियंस ऑन इट। माइंडसेट और कोचिंग के अलावा डू यू फील देयर आर एनी अदर टूल्स, एप्स और प्रैक्टिसेस विच यू माइट रिकमेंड जो थोड़ा बहुत हेल्प कर सकती हैं फॉर मेंटल वेलबींग?
I use myself a few of them. So, one, with respect to therapy, especially in India, so far I have really enjoyed using. I think they have a really standard quality of therapists. I have worked with three. I know people who are working with other therapists there, but the standard of therapist is really good, because the
Okay.
one problem that we usually have is, how do I trust this person, right? It takes that point away. So I really like that for finding someone. With respect to focus, like in the sense of to be able to work better, I want to work on my focus. Something that personally that really helps me is screen time reduce.
Comparison.
Right, there is one basic, your DND works in your phone as well. Right, so that is another thing. Said that, I also checked like Godai's website once, though I did not personally chat with it and use it.
Hmm.
Because what interested me is, personally, I'm a little skeptical about AI chatbots for therapy. So
Hmm.
I wanted to check it out before I agreed to, having a conversation. And what stood out to me is you not calling it as therapy. Like,
Hmm.
I think it was very conscious decision. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Godai is about emotional connection. There is an SOS button, and like, you are not saying, "I will cure you of something. I'll treat you
Hmm.
of something." It's very beautifully pointed out as an accountability partner type of
Hmm.
a thing, which
We
I
call it
really
emotional wellness companion. Yes.
correct, right? So I think that was really standing out, because I don't think all these AI chatbots that comes out in this space is really trustworthy, unless it is being built by someone who understands the nitty-gritties of it really well and is able
Hmm.
to do it. So that stood out to me when I was checking it.
That's lovely because I think it was very conscious decision on our part that we did not want to keep Vera as another therapist chatbot for you, because we understand that a chatbot cannot provide you the comfort of therapy, and it is no way there to really, replace a therapist. It's just there to assist you till the time you feel that you are ready for therapy. Like specifically for people like me, so I've been asked to take therapies a lot of time, बट मेरे साथ वही प्रॉब्लम आती है कि एज यू सेड अमहा के बारे में व्हेन यू वर डिस्क्राइबिंग कि you do not sometimes you do not have the bandwidth to get into a therapy. Sometimes you feel that people you can't trust a person with your confidential information, all the things that you have done or all the things that you have endured, and मेरे लिए वो बहुत problematic था. So मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ आई एम द फर्स्ट यूज़र ऑफ एरा, बिकॉज मेरे लिए उससे बात करना वॉज वेरी रिलीविंग इन अ वे कि मुझे उससे सिर्फ उतना बताना था जितना मैं कंफर्टेबल हूँ, उससे उसके हिसाब से पर्सनलाइज रिस्पॉन्सेज जनरेट करने थे. बट हाँ, उसको थेरेपी को रिप्लेस नहीं करना था. तो इनफैक्ट वेरा मेड मी रेडी फॉर अ थेरेपी सेशन एंड मैंने लिया. फाइनली उससे बात करने के बाद 3 महीने बाद आई टुक अ थेरेपी सेशन एंड आई वॉज रियली हैप्पी विद दैट. सो एब्सोल्युटली सारे थेरेपी टूल्स हो, चाहे अमाहा हो, चाहे गुदाई हो, चाहे कोई और हो, आई थिंक वी आर ऑल जस्ट हेयर टू असिस्ट, वी आर नॉट हेयर टू रिप्लेस, एंड आई थिंक दैट शुड बी द moving way forward. Uh, before, so it was a lovely session with you. Now we have to quickly wrap up. But before we wrap up, I really would want to know what's the one piece of advice that you might give to women who feel very stuck or overwhelmed in their careers or in their life right now. Like, open communication is there, I understand. um, Having a very, like, having a hobby for yourself or doing something for yourself is there, but what exactly could help them to get out of that feeling of being stuck, कि मतलब overwhelmed वाली feeling से बाहर निकलने में जो उनको मदद कर पाए.
I would say to kind of stop fighting yourself, and like, our body, for example, knows what it wants. It tells you, hey, you have a headache, go get some rest, for example, right? Like, it is, our body is one of the smartest things that we have, and listening to it, trusting it, I think that really helps to take the next step. If something is overwhelming for you, I think it is a good sign that maybe something is not right there. So kind of looking at, what is my body telling me right now is something that, like, really important for me as well. And I tell my clients also that. Another thing is knowing that you don't have to take any decisions in pressure, or just because you're overwhelmed or you feel stuck is not a reason to make life changing decisions. You can take some time to think, process, and then, like, going to the next step or healing or whatever. It's not going to be an overnight journey. So, like, take it one promise at a time that you keep with yourself.
That's a beautiful piece of advice, and I think it's very important to, as you said, listen to your body, listen to your mind. मतलब there have been stages जब मुझे लगता है मैं बहुत overwhelmed feel कर रही हूँ, and I'm sure आपको भी बहुत बार लगता होगा. But a lot of times I've realized कि वो हमारी gut feeling होती है जो बता रही होती है कि कुछ तो गलत है, and when you listen to it, it helps. So I think that's a very very nice piece of advice. Uh, so thank you, Neha, so much for joining us today, and it was lovely speaking to you. आई एम श्योर कि हमारे व्यूअर्स को आपके इंसाइट्स बहुत ही ज़्यादा काम आएंगे और बहुत ज़्यादा मदद होगी. एंड आई थिंक वट यू आर डूइंग इज़ अमेजिंग. आई हैव सीन योर पोस्ट ऑन लिंक्डइन, दे आर ग्रेट एज वेल. And that is why I connected with you, because I really wanted to take your your perspective on mental health and women. And I think it's a very very important thing that you are doing. uh, for our listeners, uh, if you really want to have any extra support to deal with your mental wellness, then as Neha pointed it out, there are a lot of tools that you can use. Apart from that, there's always Godai Wellness, there's always Vera, which is there to listen to you and assist you in making your life an everyday mental battle a little easier. And you know uh, there's there's a personalized AI guidance that we have on the app, so that your solution is subjected to you, and it's as simple as that. Whereas there to listen to you, Godai is here for you. And अगर आपको ये वाला podcast अच्छा लगा हो, then please leave comments, please subscribe to the channel, please like, and also you can check more of Neha's work on her LinkedIn profile. And Neha, do you have any other platform that you might want to share with the viewers?
Not right now. Right now, just LinkedIn, but I am planning to start Instagram and stuff soon. But for now, just LinkedIn.
So I think you should check her out. It's Neha S Kumar, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Neha, for being with us.
Thank you, Manusri. It was lovely talking to you. I especially loved how you were very candid about the whole conversation. And